What's up, everybody? This is Josh coming to you with another episode of the Affiliate Marketing Show. Please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest affiliate marketing news, tips, and trends. Once again, Josh from OfferVault.com, the industry's largest aggregator of all things affiliate marketing. We also have the industry legend Harrison Gevirtz and our special guest, first-time guest on the pod, Lauren Petrullo, founder and CMO of Mongoose Media, an ROI-centric agency fueled by enthusiasm, curiosity, and collaboration, as well as a co-host of the Perpetual Traffic podcast, a weekly podcast where they share cutting-edge strategies on acquiring leads and sales for your business through paid traffic. I'm out of breath. What's up, Lauren? How are we doing? Thanks for joining the show.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm impressed that you were able to say that all in one single mouthful.
I know. Yeah, a couple breaths. So you're awesome, it seems. We were talking before we started recording. You seem like a good person. I know you got your own podcast, the Perpetual Traffic podcast. I don't have like a written topic line for that, but I do want to hear about it before we jump into some of the topics we have today. So I'm sure our audience would find a lot of value in the Perpetual Traffic podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with it, what kind of stuff you guys cover on a regular basis, and where people can find you guys?
Sure. So how it got started, at least the original side of the podcast, it's like 9 years old. So I'm the fifth co-host that's come on. Ralph Burns, the owner of the podcast, and has been throughout the entirety of the podcast. So there's been like Molly Pittman, Qas Muslim, and then there's me, the current co-host. And the way that I was able to get my foot in the door, in all honesty, as I wrote a really good podcast review that got their attention. So I was a total fangirl, and I wrote a review that they read on air where I essentially said that this is the romance novel equivalent of podcasts, where I get like all the quick, steamy wins and then the slow burn foreplay for successful marketing campaigns. It was very aligned with the smut books I read.
Okay,
and it got their attention so much, they read it on the air. And then we became like Twitter friends, and I was able to do a guest episode, which led to a few more guest episodes. And when the opportunity for a new co-host came up, I could not say no when the offer was extended.
They were like, where do you see yourself in 2 years? And you're like, running this podcast.
Your seat.
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly.
Right there.
Right there. 100%. And it's been amazing. I mean, there's we fill 5 Fenway Park stadiums of unique downloads every month, which is like a very intimidating but exciting number to think about. There's an awesome community. It's a lot of media buyers, heads of marketing, brand owners that are looking for ways that they can grow and scale their businesses. And we talk a lot about paid media. My background's in Facebook, right? So I would put myself comfortably in the top 0.5% of media buyers for Facebook. I've been really grateful for the opportunities Meta has provided to me because of our success on the platform. So I get to extend those techniques from my expertise, as well as share what's working now within my agency, because I do have a full team. There's 19 of us, plus a whole host of part-timers. And sometimes I make jokes that I think are hilarious. Maybe my mom not so much.
We think they're funny too.
Thanks. My genre of jokes is dirty. My podcast review was like 2 chili peppers, but like I did a stand-up set called Kinks for Christ. And so sometimes that stuff will weave in sense of like, I go to church at least once a week. Like today's Wednesday, I'm going to church a second time this week, tonight. But that doesn't stop me from the profanity and vulgarity that comes out of my mouth.
Wait, so you do stand-up? Did you just like toss that in real quick?
I do a hobby every quarter. And
all right, we were gonna talk about this. She speaks like 5 to 10 languages. She likes to do a new hobby every quarter. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the hobbies first. I've actually always thought about getting into stand-up, but it scares the shit out of me. Like when I actually sit down and try to like write something, I'm like, okay, maybe I can't do this. But so you actually did a set? How long was it?
Yeah. It was 8.5 minutes. It's on YouTube. And
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
kinky Christian comedy.
Oh, Maybe we'll
Uh,
include that link if you want us to. It's up to
oh,
you. But
Drop
you're
the link,
definitely
dude.
welcome to, but like it's a mature rating only, so you have to signal that you're
you
at
know
least
what? We'll
18.
let people go out and find it if they want to find it. But how did it go? I'm just curious. Like, were you dying inside? Did you get a good response? Like, what was it like?
Oh my God, do I tell you like the real story that like I don't tell people of what happened?
Whatever you
Um,
want. We'll believe it. It's the real story no matter what.
okay, well, if you think it's unbelievable, pretend that it's not true, but you said it scared the shit out of you. This scared the piss out of me. Like I legitimate peed my pants a little right before I went on stage. And I was so grateful that the outfit was wearing was all black, but 100% a little pee came out right before I was so nervous. And
How'd it
the
go?
intro song was Wet Ass Pussy was the song that played. And in my head, I'm like, this is so true right now.
Okay,
Wow, that was
you're
horrible. I love.
you're my favorite podcast guest that we've had so far, and we're just getting started. So, was it well received?
I did have a standing ovation. I had many people reach out after my performance to tell me that it was more delightful than they would have expected. I live in Orlando, Florida, so half of the audience was at least retired. And like my climax of the joke was if you know the difference between a whorehouse and a church, or how actually similar they are. And I think people were not prepared or ready for it, but they absolutely loved it. So I got a big round of applause, but I was also what's stopping them from getting booze. So I am mindful that it was a biased reaction because they're like, yes, we can go drink now. So
And you
Whatever
speak
works, you got this. The clap.
yeah.
and you speak like five languages we were talking about. Is that really just to kind of like keep your mind sharp? Like I know you said
Mm.
you love learning languages, but is like the deeper reason just like a passion for learning and languages just happens to be like something you were pulled to?
I would say yes, 100%. And that I grew up in the city of Chicago, so my neighbors were from all different walks of life, different countries, different languages. So I always wanted someone to feel welcomed if they were in the city with me and at least say hello in their language. And then when I was 16, I changed that to be, how do I say, give me a kiss? And so I learned that in a buttload of different languages. But as an adult, I find that it keeps me sharp. It helps me be more inclusive in my marketing because I do a lot of advertising for the US, and so many people in the United States don't speak English as a first language. So I get to tap into different groups and understand the psychology of their purchase decisions. But also in like full transparency, what leans into like why I do a different hobby every quarter is I find ways of like escapism to get away from like always being on when it comes to advertising and then just not being Lauren who does ads. Because when I meet people or they know me, it's like, oh, help me with my business, help me with my campaign. The kind of way that, like, if you find out you're a doctor, like, hey, check out this mole. What does it mean? That happens a lot. And when I do these different hobbies, and especially with languages, I'm a nobody. No one cares. We're all just learning a language together. And it's helped me prevent burnout because now I have something else that's just not work. So if you're someone who's just like grind, 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 hustling, love what you do, I really invite you to consider trying a new hobby because it's been the best thing to prevent burnout for me.
Yeah, you said it was like Chinese, Korean,
Mhm.
Italian. Did you say French as well?
Yes, and Spanish, and I'm quite good at American Sign Language.
What are you most fluent in, would you
English.
say? Obviously, but like after that.
Uh, I would say Italian. Like I'm comfortable working professionally in Italian. Um,
Wow.
Jokes wise, it'd be Chinese, but Spanish. Half of my team is in Latin America, so we have Spanglish calls, and we have clients that are Spanish speaking, and we advertise to the Spanish markets both in the U.S. and abroad. We have two members on my team that don't speak English, so we like in that Spanish capacity, it's so similar to Italian as well that at times if I don't have the words or if I can't think of the phrasing faster, I'll just say it in Italian and then we come to a very happy 90% medium.
So one of the topics you threw out to me when I reached out earlier this week that seemed like you were very passionate about or that was super important right now is like getting ready for Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming
Yes.
up in a few months. And to me, I was like, is the middle of July, like, is that really when people need to start preparing for this? And if
Yes.
so, like, if, okay, yes, what can people start doing today to make sure they're ready to go come November.
Yeah, I was like, I'm interrupting hard stop. The answer is 100% yes. This is the summer slump. July is the slowest month for sales universally in the United States. And that's why Prime Day is when it
Hmm.
is, right? It's how do we stimulate the economy to get people to purchase and buy your products. Why you should start now in July and at the latest in August is because everyone else starts October, November. And that's your busiest season. So like you're already effed. What you can do now that gives you an advantage over your competition now is you start building lists, you start establishing what is your offer. If you do nothing else and you take away nothing else from this podcast, figure out what your Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale is going to be. It's at the end of November, which means that there's going to be a longer Black Friday season. People assume all of November is Black Friday. So it's just like a black month. And because it's the last Thursday and it's the very end of the month, it's going to be even longer season. And then you have like your get it shipped in time, especially if you're e-commerce before Christmas. So it's just going to be like a 6.5 weeks of exhaustion. No one on my team's allowed to take off for November. Like that's like a hard rule we have. But if you're planning later, it's like a little too late. The reason why is you can start building lists, building audiences. You don't want to go after cold audiences in Q4. It's too expensive and not cost efficient. You can go after and test those audiences now. And then you can build remarketing lists with a soft Black Friday approach on Labor Day weekend. So in September, you can do a soft pitch of what you're thinking about doing for Black Friday. Free gift with purchase, great. Try a free gift with purchase offer. It's not as good as your Black Friday, but see how your audience responds to it. And then you know that if it worked well in September 15th, you need to make sure that whatever your free gift with purchase can be is ordered so that you get it in time to fulfill on your Black Friday offers. Or say you're giving 30% off, you can offer a 20 or 25% off offer on Labor Day to all the audiences you're testing in July, August, and the beginning of September to see if those are successful audiences for you to continue to go after for Q4.
Harrison, I know, well, I was going to say, Lauren, I know you don't really know Harrison, but before he was, a co-founder of Ringba, which is, the industry's largest call tracking platform, he was an affiliate.
Love the plug. Thank you.
He was
I
an
love the shameless.
affiliate. He was an affiliate at like 12 years old. He got started like right around the same time he was getting bar mitzvahed. Harrison, when you were doing, the affiliate stuff back in the day, did you ever have any campaigns that, were super focused around like Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and how has it kind of changed from, back then?
I haven't bought media for a retail e-commerce product in quite some time, but I definitely promoted some Christmas type focused offers or holiday focused products. I remember back in the day before everyone just bought stuff on Amazon, I remember like I sold like RC helicopters through someone and like other random like gadgets that essentially the campaign had its life from like November 15th to like December 20th, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Like they sold every one of them. They're like, hey, offers pulled. We don't have any more. I'm like, okay. Another thing, and I remember I didn't, I was just an affiliate, so I didn't really have the same issues, from a media buying perspective where you really have to prep. One thing that also I think is overlooked is, and this is something I'm not an expert on, but like people with e-commerce products totally forget about planning for Black Friday or other seasonal rushes from an inventory perspective.
Yes.
And it's like the biggest mistake I've seen. I mean, I forget what it was, but I bought like I saw something on Instagram and this is like the holidays and I thought it was cool and I bought it for like me and I got it in like March. And like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I was pissed. I think I complained and they're like, sorry, whatever. But, I think that's a huge, in that bad customer service experience, they're not coming back. They don't have a good taste in their, mouth about your brand, whatever.
Right.
So, it's worth mentioning, I guess.
I would add to one component that it's not exclusively e-commerce. So if you're in the info space or you have a service, it's just people are ready to spend that time of year. And that again, that like if you haven't done a Black Friday offer before, Labor Day is like the best sale before to whet your palate. And you don't have to be in e-commerce to deliver a sale. I can tell you that one of our best Black Friday offers is when you're doing bundling and selling enough inventory to cover you through March, not to like receive in March, but you're essentially selling like 3 4 months worth of product at that time of year at a significant discount. Because then it's just as if you had a monthly subscription, but then you're cash flowing. Because yeah, you're right. The inventory management is massive. Not in charge of just like getting the inventory, but having the cash flow to sustain through the most expensive time of the year, where brands are losing the most amount of margin and paying the most amount for that customer. So if you can front load the average order value high enough in a bundle where it's like, hey, if you buy 3, you're gonna get 40% off. If you buy 4, 50% off, so that you're clearing the inventory that you ordered and recycling that cash right back in to infuse. Because January can be really slow unless you're in the health and fitness space. Like you said, December 20th becomes dead. You might get a quick pop. So it's called Q5 in the meta advertising space. So the week, like from Christmas Day to New Year's Eve, this is like a really cheap week for people to buy attention. Everyone's home, especially if you're going after Gen Zers, if they're home from college or they're like taking their time. They're on their phone more than any other week of the year. But who else is on the phone? The people that would be working that are not advertising. So it's like a Q5. So it's like this like quick little spark. But then after that, unless you're in the health and wellness space or in like the New Year's resolution, New Year, new me situation, you're kind of dead until spring break with seasonality. So I just wouldn't limit it to just e-commerce, because if you're doing affiliates for info products and stuff, it can be a really great opportunity for you to coordinate what type of offers that you can have to deliver to the list and audiences that you're providing that information.
I love that. It's true.
Lauren, a topic that you threw out that I thought was kind of funny was like how the first email people send to new leads is garbage. And I was like, oh my God, I deal with that every day. Like, it's just so robotic and pitchy. And I'm just like, within the first sentence or two, I'm already typing no thanks or not responding at all. And then you got to deal with the follow-up. So I try to respond to just put them down real quick. But how can people start, like, what is advice to our listeners when they are sending a new email, first email, trying to develop a new lead, a new relationship? I know there are some specific questions that you like to pose to kind of help them develop that faster and gain trust. So what's your take on just going into that situation and how to become better at it?
My first question that I would pose to anyone that's doing this, because it's like they're likely delivering trash.com types of emails. And like, I'm aggressive about that because when you talk to everyone, no one's actually listening, and we're better than this, right? Like,
dude, how much do you love when they're like, hey, first name, and they just forget to update
the variable. Oh yeah, God, that's
dude.
So bad.
And you see like, the variable is broken.
I was on business.com.
Test your emails, guys.
It's so
I don't care
tough.
if it's a customer service template or you're selling someone an island. Test the email.
Oh, 100%. But I would argue test it. You need to make sure, like, does it work on dark mode? If you're testing emails, how does it look on mobile? How does it look on dark mode? The amount of times that we'll see emails open up without dark mode testing, I'm like, why? I can't see anything. You didn't even like set me up for success. Or if you were doing more testing, like you can do like, do you have it as handicap accessible? Like, is it ADA compliant? Right? So like, are you at least naming what the images are? If you're advertising to people that are in like the Latin American market, they're using data plans. They don't have unlimited data. So if you have a heavy image, you might be suppressing any chance of even getting in front of that market. Or if your audience is like 65 plus, they're using large text. And if you have images or not mobile friendly emails, it's going to look really distorted. And if you're confusing the person, they're never even going to enjoy what the content was that they're supposed to consume. You've just already like been swiped left, whatever direction is bad in dating.
Left.
Oh yes.
It's been a long time.
Beyonce, right? Like you go to the left of people paying attention. So in those, it's just like
2013 Tinder.
Oh.
2013 Tinder. Yeah, when Tinder first came out. That was I wasn't on it for long, but left. I remember left.
2013, huh? I was like 21 years old. Oh.
Yeah. So what are the 4 questions to ask? That's something that I saw as a bullet point, and I'm curious, like, what are they?
So when you're saying, hey, first name, let's pretend that you got the dynamic variable correct. One thing that you want to know first and foremost is like, are they brand spanking new to your ecosystem? Because if like, Harrison, you bought that product, you didn't get it till March, but say then you did an order or you re-signed up for something from that same company in April, and now they're treating you like someone who's brand spanking new, even though you're a customer, You're like, hold on. So the first question you have to ask is someone actually brand spanking new? And if they are, great. Greet them with what you're probably doing to begin with. But if they're not brand spanking new, you ask, are they brand spanking new? And then if not, the next question you ask is, have they ever unsubscribed from you before? Right? So if they've previously unsubscribed and now they've rejoined your ecosystem, we set up an email for, like, we call it the avatar of deja vu, where you're re-welcoming them. Like, hey, we've missed you. It gives you that level of personalization so they're connected to you as an individual versus talking to me as if I'm brand spanking new. Right? But let's assume they've never unsubbed. The next question that you'll ask, so first one is, are they new? Second is, have they ever unsubscribed to us before? Then you ask, have they ever given us money? Because like Harrison got it in March, but if he's already given me money and I'm treating him as if he's just some Joe Blow on the street that I have no idea about, like, that's so rude. It's like, oh my gosh, Harrison, how are you enjoying that product? Sorry that it took so long to get it to you, but we're going to get you this information a lot sooner. How have you been, friend? And then go into the information. Right?
I mean,
now, let's say, like, Harrison, you gave money, but Josh did not. But he's already in the ecosystem, right? Like, he didn't unsubscribe, but he's already in our ecosystem. He haven't given us money. But the last question we need to ask is, has he already signed up for exactly what he's asking for? So especially if you're doing an info product or a lead magnet, like maybe it's like a tasting guide or like a workout routine that matches this supplement. If Josh has already signed up for this exact same asset and now you're treating him as if he's brand spanking new, it doesn't make sense because you can have fun. Like, you'd be like, oh, hey, Josh, looks like you actually already signed up for it. Totally get it. The spam trolls probably ate it. You're going to text him if you have his number to be like, we've already sent it to you, but I want to make sure you got it because maybe last time it went into spam or it wasn't hyper relevant, so that you can engage in a dialogue. Because if Josh signaled that he already signed up for this, he's so much better as a lead, has a higher propensity of buying. You just failed in connecting with him as an individual. So it starts a dialogue.
It reminds me of something that just kind of popped up. So, firstly, I think that email, he should have segmented them as a returning customer,
yes,
and said, thank you for your loyalty. We know you've been a customer for 5 years. You placed 27 orders. You put a stat in it. I love that. And it just reminds me, like, I have this CRM for like another business we have that's like a charter jet brokerage. And one of my favorite things in the CRM is when I pull up a client profile, it says, I'll actually look at it while I'm telling you. It says something like, how many opportunities have they presented you with? Like, how many quotes has this customer been given? How many did they book? And what's their total revenue? And I know most of the customers. So for me, it's not like a huge thing. But if you're a new person that's taking over an account and you see that Josh here has, had 10 opportunities and booked 8 trips and spent $361,000, he's a little bit better than the guy who's like opportunities 25, confirmed trips 0, revenue 0.
Tire kicker.
You don't really have to take, you should still work with the customer, but you get it. You don't have to focus as much on them if they're not going to do their job.
So depending on the CRM you have, I'm going to push you a step further. So for those that are like ninjas and like, oh, I've already got enhanced CRM, you can have stuff that sets up signals so you can send your sales team a priority, because not all leads are equal. They're not. And if someone is spending 60 seconds on site, if someone's engaging with your direct emails, you can have signals so that your hierarchy, your queue of who's working, you go down by the hottest to the coldest. And those type of signals, especially layered in where if they've given you money before, or if they've spent specific time on site, that allows you a higher likelihood of closing that sale than if you're just emailing everyone as if they're all the same.
Lauren, you said not all leads are equal. Do you find in your line of work the leads and potential customers looking to spend like the least amount of money are typically the most difficult?
Okay, wait, from a personal standpoint to Mongoose Media or from like an at scale for our clients?
I don't know. Whatever doesn't get you in trouble.
Well, I would say, like, generally speaking, it's pretty well known stereotypically that the lower the investment value, the more challenges that you may come across, because someone who doesn't see a small amount, and like psychologically speaking, something under $50 is like, I shouldn't have to think about it. right? When you surpass the price point of $50, consideration is added. But then when you're looking at from a service perspective, so at Mongoose Media, all of our services start at minimum of $5,000, right? And if I have to convince you of working and spending $5,000 at our smallest investment level, while we have clients with 40 to multiple six-figure per month invoices.
And they say, take my money, right? And you're like, okay.
Yes. Yeah. Like it's
yeah.
those, because they've already come to me pre-research. Like I do
Right.
have a podcast where there's like hundreds of hours that talk about our strategies, what's working now. I've got a team like of 8 media buyers where like one of our Google media buyers, Google personally ranked him as the number 2 media buyer in the entire US market in 2019. Like it's like there is a lot of accolades that come to what we've been able to build. So I'm not saying that like we wouldn't be happy with someone who's joining our company at $5,000, but typically they'll have more questions than someone who's like, oh, I'm ready to spend 30,000 because they've already spent 30,000 with someone else, or they've already spent 50,000 with someone else, and we're more cost effective and more impactful. So in that capacity, it's less on the dollar point. I would reframe it to be it's the previous level of investment that they've made. So typically that's a larger size, the smaller it is.
What does it really mean to you to practice safe marketing? I feel like that's like a super loaded question, but I feel like you probably have a really good take on it for us.
Well, practicing safe marketing actually comes because our business cards are condoms, right? So
I honestly am so not surprised by that. Maybe if you started off the interview with that, I'd be like, whoa, but now I'm like, of course they are, like expected.
Of course they are. Yeah.
For Mongoose Media.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like the condoms, like the foil wrappers, say like fewer STIs, more ROI. Right. And then the trifold that the condom comes in is like, like you want to make your marketing go funny emoji, and like your growth turns us on, and how we want to like essentially help you get an erection in your sales and marketing. So that's like why you want to
So how many more do you got? I feel like you got so many more lined
so
up.
many more. Well, like we have a first date kit. So when someone is a qualified lead and they come in for us, we know that their time is the most important thing. So we'll send them a first date kit, which includes our business card. So we have a condom for them and then a condom for the wife in case, right? So it's like at conferences, like I wear a fanny pack that says like, stop getting fucked by your agencies, practice safe marketing. And I pass out these condoms. And sometimes like it generates a lot of conversations. People come back from conferences like, oh my God, you'll never believe it. This really tall blonde with fancy shoes gave me a condom, and wives are like, excuse me. I'm like, look, it's not used. But now we also have like the for the life version. And so to that effect, like it's all in our like, I'm 100% the dirtiest marketer you're going to meet. And it helps us also like pre-vet. Like I am as authentic as I am now in my client calls. And I honestly never make more money than when I tell someone all the things that they're doing wrong in their system. So it's like, I don't know, like a Dom kind of vibe, because I'm like, this is trash. This is so stupid. Why didn't you practice safe marketing here? Which goes back into the most important thing to me for any brand after your offer is ensuring the data from your campaigns being fed back into your ad algorithms is correct. And no one does that. They front load all the marketing campaigns and do dick in making sure that the stuff going back into the algorithms is correct. I know like you're laughing, and I hope those listening.
No one can see me laughing. They can only see you. The camera's only on who's ever talking. Out. Do you ever like experience a negative reception to everything? Like the cards, the whole vibe, the presentation.
Someone might not be into it. I think it's
like,
funny.
I'm assuming you don't want to do business with those people anyways, or would you say that's going a little too far and you want to try and win them over, or do you like tone it back depending on?
That's fair. I try not to tone back. I try to be as authentic as I can, and I know that like we all know sex sells, right? I am just in a grateful position, like as a woman, I can say this. Like I can say, stop blue balls in your bottom line. Sorry, Josh and Harrison, that would be uncomfortable coming from you guys, right? So I take advantage of the privilege that I have. It's polarizing for sure. So someone who's like, yes, I want this direct information. Like when I'm saying I get paid the most when I'm the most direct, and I'm like, this is garbage. I'm not going to like cookie cutter or filter it, because if I know this is not working for you, I have a fiduciary responsibility to be like, I don't understand. I'll give you a use case. Let's go back to like the email marketing example. We tailor that very first email someone gets when they sign up into our ecosystems based on those 4 questions where they are with their relationship to the brand, right? And then before I'm sending any other email after that, right? When someone has an onboarding series for their leads, you're usually like, your welcome series is like 7 to 14 emails. Hey, here's the asset you asked for. Let me tell you about the brand. Let me tell you about our story. Oh, here's our founder. All that nonsense, I don't give off until I have proof of life. So if you asked for a lead magnet, that's a workout routine that's related to your supplements, I'm going to give it to you. And then if you didn't open, I'm going to resend you that same email up to 2 more times. And then I'm going to send you a second email that's here's your lead magnet that you offered, or sorry, that you asked for with a little bit different positioning. And then I'll resend it to you 2 more times if you didn't open. And then I'll do a third email like you asked, it's been delivered. This is a great resource for you. And essentially I have like a triage where I'm going to resend you those potentially 9 emails, but it's only 3 that I wrote, an additional 3 times potentially. And if you do not click or reply to essentially my first email in my onboarding sequence, you are dead to me. You have shown me no proof of life. You are a waste of my time. I am not telling you about my brand. You don't deserve my time or attention. And what I'll do is because you didn't click or you didn't reply on my emails, I am tagging you as a subscriber only. I'm sending you into Meta to build a negative lookalike audience because I don't want more of you garbage, waste of my timers. But then I'm also telling the algorithms this was bad. Do not find me more of these because not all leads are created equal. I want leads that are going to reply or click on the content they asked for. So in that type of stuff, I'm very direct and people appreciate it.
Has there been a negative like experience at a trade show when you're handing out the business cards and stuff like that, and you just say like, okay, and you just walk away? Or
it's always going to be person dependent. Like I never want someone to feel unwelcome. Like if we go back to like why I like learning so many different languages, because I want people to feel included. I was really bullied growing up, so much so that at 12 I tried to take my own life because I was so bullied. I was excluded out of so many different scenarios. So I never want someone to feel unwelcomed. I understand that they may feel perturbed and like not comfortable, which I respect and understand, and I'm not going to push it. I've been in rooms because we do ads from everything from programmatic to Pornhub, and that's not for everyone, which is okay. I understand. I respect your opinion. I live in Florida. Okay. I'm from a very blue state and I live in a very red region. I essentially live a purple life. I am comfortable to wherever you're most comfortable with, and I will respect when you say this isn't my vibe. I've never had a situation where someone's become aggressively mad at me, but I've had someone where like, ooh, that's not very funny. I'm like, totally get it. It's a hit or miss, and it's super polarizing. And then I try to just make myself.
You're like, yeah, I don't think it's funny either. They make me do it. You just pawn it off on someone else.
That would have been funny. It's more like, I mean, it becomes uncomfortable. Like I remember talking to this one woman, and she was visibly uncomfortable. I was like, I know, I get it. Like it's polarizing, and it helps the people I can help the best because this is how I do my marketing. But I know like I'm not for everyone, and I'm okay with that. And then we walk on our separate ways. But for the most part, it becomes almost like so gimmicky that I'm a conversation that they keep talking about. And that's the purpose of marketing. And I'm demonstrating like in my marketing, you're like, oh my gosh, this condom's so good. Like the other thing I give away are like little blue pill bottles where you can take 2 a day until you decide to, if you want to direction your sales, take 2 pills a day until you decide to hire Lauren in Mongoose Media, right? And it's a little blue pill with our logo on it, very much playing off of the Viagra. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so clever. I'm like, don't you want that same cleverness in your advertising and sales campaigns? I got you.
Yeah, I feel like whenever someone starts talking to you too, they probably let their guard down pretty quick. You seem very authentic, and then you have a good way of getting on people's good side pretty quickly. Harrison, I feel like I've cut you off like 5 times in the past 5 minutes. You want to jump in here?
No, I think that, I love the business card marketing. I remember seeing that, like I haven't seen that in 20 years. Like I remember being like at affiliate summit or ad tech San Francisco. I was like 15 or 16 years old. And I thought it was really funny because there was a company that gave away condoms and there was some like witty line about like protecting yourself from fraud or something. I don't
So
remember what it
good.
was but it it was kind of like you had a different play on it, but it was the same kind of thing. And this is 20 years ago. I've never seen that. And, I'm 16. I thought it was so cool, but
Yeah.
I think that's actually a really unique marketing plug, and I think it's cool that you're willing to kind of not care if someone's not into it, because I personally think it's great, and you don't want those people for the customer anyway.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like just not caring too much about what other people think about you. I mean, obviously you can't take it too far. It could damage your brand, but again, like Harrison said, it's probably not the people you're looking to do business with anyways.
Yeah, whether like you're 16 or 60, ideally it gives you a laugh and it's a conversation starter. Similarly, like when I go to conferences, like I'm wearing shiny shoes or I'm wearing bolder clothes because I want someone to feel comfortable to approach me. Like I don't want someone to be like, "Oh, she's so tall, it's intimidating." Or they're like, "Oh my God, she's so smart and so intimidating." I mean, that's secretly what I wish people would think why I was intimidating, not just because I'm like 6'4" in heels. But at the same time,
I was
like
gonna
I
ask,
will,
so are
yeah.
you like, what are you like 6'2",
Um,
6'1"?
I'm an optical illusion. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the shortest member in my family. My father was 6'8" and a half. My mother
Jeez.
is taller than me. I am shrinking. So now I'm only 5'8" and a half. But I'm like 80% legs and 100% wearing heels. So people assume I'm
Okay.
like 5'11", 6'1" without heels, and they don't
Gotcha.
even like notice. So 100% people tall. But I tell them I'm an instant ego boost. So it's like, Harrison, I'll be like, you're taller than me, even though I'm standing next to you in heels taller than you. And you're like, no way, that's not true. And then I like step down from the heels and like, oh my God, I'm taller than Lauren.
Sure,
Instant ego
Lauren.
boost.
I don't know about that.
You
I'm
mentioned
like looking up.
you mentioned conferences. Do you go to any of the shows like that we go to? Like, do you go to the affiliate
You're on the agency
summits?
side, where
Yeah.
it's a different world. Yeah, where do you go?
So I've like gone to Traffic and Conversions a lot, which is owned by Clarion. Well, it's no longer a conference. I'm thinking about going to Affiliate Summit East in August, like August 5th and the 6th in New York.
Yeah,
But the
we'll
events
be
that,
there.
oh, yay.
Yeah.
If I am there, we can do an in-person high five and a hug. And it'll either be like, I'm hugging your shoulders or you're hugging my belly.
No,
It's just
I'm
gonna be
super down
dependent.
for a high five and a hug. Harrison loves high fives, by the way. Big high five
Yes.
guy. So affiliate summit, maybe traffic and conversions. What else you normally hit?
Yeah. So like I actually like, just mapped out next year's conferences. So the ones that I'm going to are like South by Southwest, Shop Talk, Cannes in France.
I did Shop Talk a few
Yeah.
years ago for a
Mm.
different business that was like e-commerce service provider type product. And I thought that it was all service providers, and I never went back. What do you think about
Oh.
my synopsis? Am I
Um,
crazy?
I think that fancy shoes and a fanny pack with condoms
Oh,
attract
see, I just
non-service
was there. I didn't have
providers.
anything cool. I was gonna say I won't put fancy shoes on. I wear on exclusively. I'm virtually sponsored by all.
There are a lot of service providers. You're totally right, as one included. But I also own an e-commerce brand. I think it's just what I found to be true is okay, I'm gonna give away some of my conference tips and tricks. One, it's like whatever the parties are, that's always where the actual brand owners are because these service providers and these big tech companies are desperate to get in front of brand. So they're inviting them to these big events. So if you can figure out what those parties are before and after the event, you're going to win. Two, it's who's sitting down and having lunch that's included with the conference. So Shop Talk has tables. The service providers, they're taking brands out to lunch, which means the people that are sitting down and having brands, or sorry, having food are more often than not the actual brands that haven't been courted yet to go to lunch. So that was like one small tip that I found. Secondly, or like thirdly, rather, what I found helpful is to find who are the brands. Honestly, if you use the service providers, that's a better one-two punch. Because if you find a service provider that's actively working with brands, it's a non-competitor of yours, and you start talking about your techniques. I'll give Criteo, for example. So they're a programmatic supplier. I'm hanging out at their booth. Service providers aren't going to other service providers' booth. So I'm just saying like, oh, here's my ideas of how you can leverage that paid resource and like, hey, here's some examples. And then those conversations that I'm having, the brands are overhearing and they're listening in on those discussions because the service providers are like, oh, I'm not going to stop in a service provider's booth because it's a competitor. I'm like, is it? It could be an ally for you. So then that allows you to have better conversations. So that's like how I found success doing it. But the event in and of itself, I think is non-negotiable for those in the e-commerce space. Like full disclosure, I got a free ticket because of the podcast and I got to cover it. And what I saw, like if you are a service provider, you can pay like 10 grand and have meetings pre-established with brands. So you can pay extra for that ticket so that you have sit down table meetings and you do like 10 a day. Like that, if you're finding that to be the issue and you're not someone that's comfortable and extroverted and wearing like sparkly pink shoes or a fanny pack with condoms, just pay a little extra, have the meetings to make the whole travel worth it.
Harrison, let's get you a fanny pack with condoms, dude. I think that's what Ringba's missing, my guy.
Yeah,
Ringba,
you could wear like
right now.
Lauren, Ringba goes all out at these shows. They're like the main sponsor of all the shows they go to, and they have like 20-foot booths, and they do the whole thing.
Then
But
why
they
aren't you
don't
giving away
have
Roombas?
they don't
It'd
have
be like-
condoms.
You have a
We are,
Roomba, so
call
give away a
tracking.
Roomba.
Oh,
And you should
That's
be like,
funny.
look,
I'll
I'm
have a good
tired of
story
you
for that off the
calling
recording.
dirt. We're going to sweep
Yeah.
up all the garbage from your lead manufacturing. And if you're a brand, come in and we'll give you a Ringba Roomba.
Ringba Roomba. That's a.
It's like
This
your
is-
leads suck. This vacuum does suck too, but it sucks up
Not
the
buying
garbage, and
shitty
that's what we
calls.
do on your.
This is
your
why
lead
this is
generation.
why she gets paid the big bucks, folks. So, Lauren, we talked a little bit about variables and emails and using them well when they do work,
Yeah.
but how much farther do you take personalization, not just within emails, but for, you know, your pitch to customers, how you deliver, you know, assets to customers, follow-ups with customers, thank yous to customers. Like, I know now, like, it's not an option anymore, right? It's like a must
Not
if you're
an
going to
option.
be running a good business. So, like, how far will you take that, like, white glove approach for the people that you do come in contact with?
You know, two famous words, it depends. Always, it depends. I think, like you said, it's not optional. Personalized ads and relevancy is the only thing that'll win. And it's almost like going back to the Don Draper style Mad Men time of advertising. We get so distracted by so many shiny objects and AI stuff that we forget foundational items where personalization, if someone's bought from you 5 times, I mean, Harrison, you were talking about the charter example. Someone booked 25 trips. Motherfucker, you better have a 25 trip medallion that you're sending to them. If you've got an e-commerce
Oh, I
brand
take-
and
yeah.
someone, yeah, like
Well,
you
Lauren,
make them happy.
you probably don't know this, but Ringba sends gold plaques to their most successful customers. So they're on.
Okay.
They're not.
Based on-
He's not. He's
So
not
we
on the
send out,
medallion.
actually,
for
you'll
you.
love this, Lauren. Thank you. Yeah, so we have something called the GOAT Club. Think
Mhm.
the GOAT, greatest of all time. Also think ring like a goat.
Got it.
So
Got
essentially
it.
based on the level of revenue you make in a certain industry or vertical or campaign, whatever, on Ringba in a certain period of time, we give different tiers. So we have the $1 million one, we have the 10, the 25, and the 100 million.
Great.
We've given
But what about
away
all the smaller ones? How do they feel the momentum to reach for that first million?
they get to $1 million. It's revenue. It's revenue. It's very
They
easy.
get to
We've
$1
given away
million.
hundreds of them. I'm sorry, we can't.
Sure.
We got to keep this exclusive. There's
Sure.
only 12 seats in first class. But no, yeah. So we essentially, I mean, we thought we launched it, and we've essentially given away over $1 billion worth of revenue generated awards.
Amazing.
In
Congratulations.
like what, 18 months? I'm plus or minus in here.
But
Adam,
we need a
my partner.
25
You
flight
need a higher
medallion.
one.
We need a 25
I need
flight
to do something for the
medallion.
flight people.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've seen all the things people give private flyers, like the little swag, and it's like nobody wants a canvas bag with your logo on it to
Nope.
put 3 things in. Nobody wants a blanket. So I've been thinking about getting some like really cool like linen pants and just giving them to everyone. They're like branded, but they're like comfortable for flying is the idea.
Ah,
It's like
okay.
ill. Like just a fly fit. But it's like
Lauren-
expensive. It's not
Lauren hates it.
$21.
Lauren hates the idea. I can tell by her reaction. We go way back. She doesn't like it.
She's not bullish.
I'm assuming that it's mostly men that are in this club then.
It was gonna be more of like a pajama, so we are gonna have 2 designs, like a chill fit.
I'm
but I
wearing
can
heels
change.
when I go to the airport, so unless it's
Even
like
when you fly
matching my
private
outfit.
at 11 o'clock at night.
you know, that's not, I'm a passenger princess. But I mean, like, I think it's a good, like, I like that you have something,
We
and I
want to
think it's
give
great
like
to keep it
unique
on.
stuff that's not $8 is the idea. Because
For
so I'm
sure.
actually, you'll love this. I'm wearing this shirt right now,
Yeah.
which is one of our Ringba swagged out shirts. I
Mm-hmm.
got it's like it
By the
blurs
way,
because of the
they come
camera.
out with new shirts every day, it seems like. Every day it's like, look at the new shirt we got.
I
Look, if
almost
you're
wear the
not proud
different
enough
shirt
to
every day.
rep your brand, how excited are you about the brand?
Right.
And you will appreciate this. Our philosophy regarding swag or gifts or whatever is that I have been given a shitty t-shirt that turns up as like a dog blanket or a rag or trash
Yeah.
more times than I can think of. So we give people like either super cool designs, and honestly, we've been using and trying to find different t-shirts like the cotton and the cut for years because it was never the same after American Apparel went out of business. Um, so we don't want shitty
You can still
swag,
buy American
and
Apparel shirts, by the way.
well,
You
it's
100%
hard to
can
get
still.
them for bulk for white label printing because they're like
I
Either
can
it's
give you an
like
introduction to a place in Canada
beautiful.
either of you guys watch that documentary yet?
just yesterday.
Yeah, so wild.
I
Crazy
was like,
stuff.
"Whoa."
Sure.
Anyways, Lauren,
I'm gonna go
what do
back
you
to
do?
Harrison's one thing.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
talking about like what would I do? Like you're spending all this time talking about like talking to manufacturers and creating linen. I don't know how many people you're making it for, but I bet you could spend equally, if not less amount of time just actually looking at your top clients' Instagram accounts and seeing what they actually want and making something more personalized. Like, so if they're like a huge Seahawks fan, right? Getting a signed jersey for their favorite Seahawks player, something that they have announced publicly or something that you have about them because you're having private conversations. I would just rather have a personalized gift, not one of many. But I get why you're doing it, especially if it's in bulk. But when you are in the swag game, when you're producing at volume, that kind of stuff makes sense. And I love that you're doing like on the but I was like, the first thing I thought I was like, buy, and getting everyone NSYNC tickets or something
Mm.
like that and having a private box. But like,
Harrison didn't like that idea. I saw his
not at all. It's
eyebrow
fine. It's
raise.
his,
Why if they're
it's
a
his
little
linen pants for
older?
me.
I think it's probably good.
Anyone catch videos of the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere recently?
Yeah. I knew that because I saw Lance Bass, who was an NSYNC performer. That's what made me think about it because of his posts on Backstreet Boys at the Sphere.
Nice.
But if it's like, hey, you have performance that's out of the stratosphere, we have a private box, 12 seats only. Come on in and meet the others that are in this space. Like but I love that you're in online or on brand with like the flight and continuing that thread. I would just invite you in that personalized size, depending on where they are. You can hire a VA to just creep someone's Instagram and see what they've said in podcasts or anything else that's shown personality and personalization.
By the way, just so we're respecting your time here, do you have a hard stop?
I do not. Oh gosh, I'm the worst at looking at time. So
Oh
anyone
no,
that
you're
ever like
cool.
books calendar time with me, I'm like,
Well, I
please at
see the
least
big
block me for
ass
30.
calendar behind you.
Yeah.
I guess that's just for show though. So I got only like a topic or two more for you, not too much
Mm.
longer here. Um, what do you mean by stop guessing and start guaranteeing? Like what kind of stuff
Mm.
should we stop assuming and what kind of stuff is it, you know, okay to guarantee? Because I feel like you're kind of guarantees can really box you into a corner. I get people that ask me all the time, what what kind of results can I expect from advertising on OfferVault?
Sure.
I say honestly, they vary. Depends. Like I know that's probably not the answer you're looking for, but that's the truth and that's how I prefer to do business. So I feel like guarantees could really back you into a corner. But what kind of guarantees are you talking about with that?
Yeah, so we do this thing called atomic testing in our agency. So when you're leveraging social media in the way that social media is intended, right? Social is starting a conversation. We will do like cost-effective campaigns where we go like headline to hit, storytelling to storyboarding before we launch full campaigns. So the guessing to the guaranteeing in that capacity is like, what is the language you want to use? What is the campaign promise? What is the campaign's core messaging? So we'll stop guessing like, oh, hey, yeah, linen pants. I guess that's a great idea. We don't know, but we can start guaranteeing it by having some campaigns. So like when we do what we call headline to hit stage, is we'll put together like 10 headlines, and it might just be like, for our top 50 sales this quarter, we're thinking about linen pants. Do you like linen pants? Like just creating headlines. We'll do like 10 to 20 of them, using it as a reach or engagement campaign. So you're spending like nothing. You're spending like 15 cents to get in front of 1,000 people on your list. And then you're tracking to see what's generating the highest click-through rate. So then you take up those 10 to 20 headlines, whether this is like an email campaign, a blog you want to write for your brand, or swag that you want to distribute to your top performers. You can do this in a headline approach where you're spending less money and getting the answers that is generating click-through rates. And then after you take your 10 to 20 headlines, you take your top 3 performers, so which has the highest click-through rate. So it captured the most attention. You're not designing ads, you're just putting the copy on a colorful background. That's it, right? You're only trying to see what generates more enthusiasm. Then you take the top 3 performers, and then we build out storytelling ads. So if say one of the performers like was linen, so now we'll make 3 different ads about the linen pants. That's like, what's worse than going through the airport and getting stopped by TSA? Sitting in a seat for 16 hours and comfortable AF. Check out these linen pants so that you can fly in style. And then another one for the linen pants might be like,
damn, just off the dome. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm just making them up from the top, but like if there was, remember that person in first class who spilled their glass of wine all over you and then ruined your rest of your flight? Super uncomfortable. Well, in these linen pants, not only will it just brush off, but it also will come off in a simple wash. You don't need to tailor or launder your clothes professionally. Wear pants that that the people next to you are going to potentially fuck up. So you make 3 storytellings on that headline, and then if you have another headline that's like the NSYNC version, you make 3 different storytelling ads, and then we call it storytelling to storyboarding. You see which of those 9 ads, as a combination, which storytelling generated the most clicks, and then from there that becomes our campaign. So we're building, linen pants won over NSYNC. Now let's make the linen pants be the story that we're going to do this entire campaign on. And we launch campaigns that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And when we've guessed, sometimes we've guessed correctly, other times we've guessed wrong. And a use case is like, we work with a client in the autism space. The winner of all of the lead mags we were doing of how we get in front of different audiences was conversation starters, not with the parent of a child with autism, but the loved ones who don't know how to help the parent with a child of autism. And that came out from this type of atomic testing, because what we were guessing of what we thought would attract our ideal customers and grow our presence in those marketplaces was way off, right? Like we were thinking of things that were directly what to talk to your doctor about to signal, like to make sure that your doctor believes you. That's what we thought was going to be a hit. That was like one of the worst performing headlines that we no longer continued with.
What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a kid? Because I just feel like your answer is going to be different than what you're doing today.
Well, it depends at what time, but honestly, it was like alive and happy. Because
Yeah.
like I was so bullied. I mean, I remember like people would come over to my house and like just steal the clothes. My dad was handicapped. He was a Vietnam veteran. I have a younger brother who's half Black. I have an older brother who had his own different issues. When I went to high school in 7th grade, and my older brother had a child, people thought it was my younger brother's kid. Like he wasn't a really good place. So at like one point I was just like, I just wanted to be happy and alive, because I was really afraid of limbo. And that was like my biggest fear, because I am super churchy. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I commit suicide, I'm damning myself eternally to limbo. So that was it. But at different times in my career, like I wanted to be a president, I wanted to be an astronaut. And then as I became like a preteen and really affected by the bullying, I just really wanted to be happy.
Harrison, I know you got to bounce. I do have another question.
I have a call. I'm 1 minute late too.
No, it's all right.
So I'm gonna roll.
I'm not going to end this just
yet.
Yeah. Lauren, hang out with me for another minute. Harrison,
thank you for coming, Lauren. I'm sure we'll see you at Affiliate Summit. Bye.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm sure that kind of like helped. I mean, I'm not even sure. I know it helped you become the person you are today, right? Having gone through that, and like having gone through that and come out on the other side, like what's something, you would say, like, how do you view life in general, right? Like, do you find having been through that and now where you are today, you don't get like bogged down in like the small stuff? I mean, I'm sure a little bit you do. We're all human,
Mm,
right? But
yeah.
like, do you kind of see the bigger picture and have a easier time at this stage in your life focusing on what's important now?
I think it's always going to be dependent because it's like it's subjective, right? I do feel that my superpower is seeing the forest, where I know a lot of people will focus on the trees, and that's where like from what our agency does and like selfish plug or things of that nature, when we are looking at people's accounts, and I'm like, well, you're you're optimizing for leads, you're optimizing for purchases, but look, all these purchases are repeat customers. Aren't you trying to go after new? Like, let's look at how this is affecting your bottom line. Your cost on your Facebook ads is increasing incrementally, but your revenue is not because you're just going after the same more. Like, how might we penetrate new audiences? Which is like in some of those cases, it's like, wait a second, let's do a quick audit of your CRM. Oh my God, you have 3% of your audience with the last name Chen. Let's test some Mandarin and some Lunar New Year ads. And we've had some really great success by like bringing out those type of insights. So seeing the trees, I think, has afforded me um, better success in marketing, but comes directly from I was focused on or sorry, seeing the forest, because when I was younger, I was focused on the trees, and those trees led me to like really dark places. And now when we talked about like giving condoms and people like being very turned off by it and it not being, I'm like, that's okay. Cause I'm looking at the forest, and the forest is how might I make a bigger impact for those that can help me grow my team. And like the reason, like I know the reason behind what I'm doing, why I'm growing Mongoose Media. And it's because I'm trying to reimagine the juvenile detention center's educational system. And so like that's a really big passion project for me. I hate that there are young adults that go into prison. They're incarcerated for various things, whether it's like all sorts of different items. But when they come out, the recidivism rate of them likely going back into the system is so high. The education they receive inside doesn't make sense. Like, why do they want to learn chemistry or history if their job opportunities is like drugs or Walmart? And so I know that the more successful Mongoose Media is, the more that we can contribute to an entrepreneurial degree. So instead of like your GED, like we were trying to do like a great entrepreneurial degree and introduce them like, hey, you're good at sales. You can make $500 on that corner, but what if you could make $5,000 selling info products, selling cars? You're great at rapping. Well, that's also, you're great at hooks. I have copywriters that make $400 an hour, and introducing those disadvantaged youth to career opportunities that don't represent like their work ethic and their skills are the only thing that matters. And so their ambition isn't limited by their record. So all that to say is like, it's definitely helped me. A lot of the smaller things can roll off of me, but it's situational dependent. It can roll off me more than some, but it doesn't roll off me the same way as others are stronger at it. And it's something I try to work on all the time. But I have a really good team that's supportive of it when I get caught up in like a silly tree or two.
Are you like big into like meditation, or like what is like kind of like your mental health practice look today
Mm.
to kind of keep you in a good spot? I mean, like I love to meditate, but I'm very like I'm all or nothing in life,
Mhm.
just in general. So I'll be like
Yeah.
every day, all the time, and I'm doing it, and then I won't do it for like a month, right?
Mm.
And I always feel better when I'm doing that and like active with my workout routine and all that stuff. But I'm very like in and out of routines. I'm very routine based, for better or for worse. Like what do you do on a regular basis? How consistent are you with it?
Yeah.
And like what are some like easy things a listener could do right now to kind of just get their head in a better space when it comes to like that work life balance?
I would say like one thing is like it's okay if you're inconsistent because you're human. So like I don't feel bad about that. Like I'll go through all or nothing too. Like I'm a binge consumer, right? Like if I start a book, I'm reading all 7 books in that series as fast as humanly possible, right? If I start some sort of Chinese drama that has 54 episodes, they're an hour long each, like my life is represented to like whatever. Like I'm very much in that like voracious consuming habit, similar to you. I'm not the strongest woo-woo person. I have people on my team that are much stronger to the meditation. Like I like yoga. I like hot yoga. But I think for me personally, the way I best meditate, which is like not a spiritual person or anything, is when I do the escapism and I just watch a show that has nothing to do with my current reality, or I read a book about like fairies fucking each other, like that kind of
Okay,
stuff.
we're back. We're back.
We're back.
The episode went off the rails, but we're back now.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I
you were
think
too professional for a
meditation.
second.
Yeah, meditation
Yeah.
doesn't have to be sitting down and breathing. You know, it could be
Yeah.
anything, right?
For me, I believe that, and I recognize that some people listening might be like, no, like you need to be in a different environment. But I find myself getting into a meditative state where, for me, I just unplug. I have a dog, and I walk at least an hour a day with my dog, and I can't tell you how much that does for me and my mental health. Like when I got a dog, if you're listening, you want to do like one thing, get a dog. And it forces you to go outside. And then if you have a chance to go to a dog park, it forces you to socialize. And well, like, yeah, you can be on your phone, or you can like listen to a book or a podcast, ideally perpetual traffic, or this one. When you're walking, you can still, like, if you're at the dog park, you're like socializing and you're off device. And I know that when I'm off device, like there's tons of supportive studies that show, like, if you can be off device 10 minutes, it allows your brain chemistry to reset in a way. So if we go back to the hobbies, all the hobbies I've chosen, like Q1 this year, my hobby was going to therapy. So I did BetterHelp every week for the first quarter. I've done like fencing. I couldn't be on my phone because I was literally stabbing a bunch of 12-year-olds and their dads. And I would do dragon boating, which is a water sport. So I'm not bringing my phone on the boat to have it sink into the bottom of Lake Fairview. Those hobbies force me at least 1 hour a week to not be on a screen. And that's something I found really helpful too.
How do you find these hobbies? Like, like how do you get into fencing or dragon boating? Like, is that like just scrolling Instagram? You're like, that looks like fun. I'll try it.
Well, so I got into dragon boating. So I took
I don't even know.
classes.
I don't know what dragon boating is, by the way.
Oh goodness. Hold on.
Whoa,
My
that's
phone
dragon
just fell.
boating? Cool.
You're like,
We'll be right
down.
back.
Here for it. It was
No, you're good.
here, I'll switch it back. Dragon boating, you can think of it as like competitive canoeing, right? So you have 20 people in a boat, and like you sit side by side, and then there's a person at the front who is like ideally like coaching you. There's this really famous dragon, like similar type of style, like an aura farming 11-year-old that like blew up over the internet recently. But it's very popular with breast cancer survivors and Asians. And the closest I have to that is like the only part of me that's Asian is that like I'm Caucasian. It's the closest I have to that.
That's a good, you got to put that in the next set. That's a good one. I like it.
It comes into it where it's like if I had dating preferences, but you can guess what.
We gotta go. We gotta go watch the video, guys.
100%. But yeah, those I just find like meetup.com. There's an app that will show stuff that's really interesting to do different things. Like a lot of it honestly is like I'll just watch movies or watch shows that I escape from. And then I see whatever they're doing. Like there's a show about a professional pool player, a billiards player. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to sign up for private billiards lessons. Or I went to an art festival and there was a display of people doing silks. And I was like, oh my gosh, this looks ridiculously hard. Okay, cool. Next hobby, done. So I just try to pull it from the stories or the hobby groups that I find in Facebook groups or Meetup, where I'm like, one, I don't know this. Two, the people that do adult hobbies are people that are super passionate. So do you know what it's like to be around super passionate individuals? It lifts everything. You have such a good vibe when you're connecting with these people, and then you get to like hijack their high energy. So it could be like crocheting, it could be ASL at my local Starbucks. There's so many different hobbies that are available, and I think of it as like my tour de hobby. So there's so many resources. Fencing was like $10, all equipment included and done with the Orange County system. So if you don't know where to start, at least check your local library because they have a lot of amazing new things that you can jump into.
Well, I gotta say, Lauren, we've done 120 plus episodes. This is like top 10 for me. You crushed it. Really appreciate you coming on. Everyone, make sure you check out Perpetual Traffic. There'll be a link in the description to Lauren's podcast. For myself, Josh from OfferVault, the industry legend Harrison Gevirtz, as well as our new special guest, friend of the pod, Lauren Petrullo, founder of Mongoose Media and co-host of the Perpetual Traffic podcast. Let's make that paper. Let's make that dough. This was the Affiliate Marketing Show. We will see you next time.